If you need to improve your IELTS writing score, especially if you need to boost it from 6 to 7, do you have a system for making comparisons so you can increase your mark for grammatical range and accuracy when academic writing task 1 is a chart or table? In the PANA system for making comparisons, A stands for advanced. In grammar books, this structure is usually called a numerical comparative, but I've chosen to call it an advanced comparative because PNA rhymes with DNA, and that helps you to remember the system and put PNA into your writing DNA. I'm going to play a short clip from an early video in which I introduce these advanced comparatives, and then I'll give you a tip for when you're in the IELTS exam. Now, making advanced comparisons. Apples, the value is still 1. Oranges, the value is 2. Bananas, which will be important later, have now increased to 4. We'll come back to that shortly. But we've talked about apples and oranges and bananas. Now it's the turn of oranges. Oranges are twice as expensive as apples. Sometimes you can be more precise about the size of the increase, and advanced comparisons help you to do that. And the advanced one is with as, as. And the adjective, just as with the negative where it's not as, as, the adjective doesn't change. So it's not more expensive, it's expensive. If it wouldn't be cheaper, it would just be cheap. And the important thing to remember with this is that when it's double, you need to say twice, not 2 times. So for formal writing, stick to twice, and don't use more expensive than or cheaper than with twice. With twice, you have to use the as structure. If, and now we get on to bananas, if it's more than twice, if it's 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 100 times, you have 2 options. You can say bananas are 4 times more expensive than apples, or you can say bananas are 4 times as expensive as apples. So with the than, you have the more. With the as, you don't change anything. Another way of doing it, you could say apples are 4 times cheaper. So just like in the positive, cheap becomes cheaper, expensive becomes more expensive, and then than bananas. Alternatively, you could say apples are 4 times as cheap as bananas. And that's advanced comparatives. One last thing. With advanced comparisons, you can be more precise quite often. And let's say the values are 1.1, 2.1 and 4.1. They're not exact, and often with these graphs and tables and figures, you need to use words like approximately, roughly, around, or about. So if it's a nice exact figure, you don't need to use them, but if it's not exact like these figures. We can say oranges are approximately twice as expensive as apples, or roughly twice as expensive, or around twice as expensive, or about twice as expensive. You've got 4 different options. You might need to use them 3 or 4 times. So again, learn those 4 words. You're then not repeating the same word again and again. And any of these 4 you can use with any of these combinations. Another example, bananas are roughly 4 times, and again here you've got 2 different options, as expensive as or more expensive than. Alternatively, apples are about or around 4 times as cheap as bananas or cheaper than. So if you do more than one advanced comparative, you've got different options there, provided it's not twice when it has to be as. Now the exam tip. The fact that you can use approximately, about, around and roughly with an advanced comparative means that the difference doesn't have to be exactly twice or 3 times or 4 times. However, you won't be able to use an advanced comparative as often as a positive or negative comparative. So you will have less flexibility in terms of where you can use it in your answer. Therefore, I would try to identify which statistics you can use it with while you're planning your answer, so you know where you're going to use it before you start writing.